He had such a kind, caring side to him. He was, he'd light up any room he walked into.
He was fun, loving. We always had great laughs, all the time.
Quite close.
Very close.
He wasn't into sort of football and rugby and cricket as some things like that. Nick was more into BMXs and skateboards. Skateboarding was his thing, as a youngster growing up.
Never fell out, never really argued. It was just always over something.
Or just scrapping.
Carrying on more than anything. He was always there to help out, like say with DIY, doing things in the house.
He just started on at the time, his only niece, which was Connie, and that was it. And obviously he was looking forward to the next one being born, because when this happened, his sister was 20 weeks pregnant.
It's a hard day to think about. It's hard to know or to explain how you felt that day. It was just a run of emotions, wasn't it? We didn't know what to do. We didn't know in the beginning what had happened.
There was a beautiful bouquet of flowers on the fireplace, put in a vase and everything. So lovely. Later that evening he texted me saying, did I get me flowers and did I like them? And I just said, yes son, I did. They were lovely, thank you. But what were they for? And he sent back, just in brackets, just for being me mum. And simple as that. And that was the last thing that I'd ever, heard from him. We were actually shopping, me and Kelly, and we were in the Sainsbury's car park in Bishop Auckland.
I just had a phone call off a friend asking if Nick was okay, and I didn't have a clue what she was talking about.
There'd been a fire. And they couldn't identify them exactly of who was where in the car. Nick was the passenger, so fortunately he'd died instantly.
It was a horrendous day. I'd gone from just doing normal everyday shopping to my life broken.
There was an overwhelming numbness, shock, disbelief, but numbness. We're just a normal family. This doesn't happen to people like us. This happens to other people. We're just normal. Nick wasn't a bad lad. He didn't joyride. He didn't do anything, that you wouldn't normally expect him to do. He made a bad choice, and his bad choice was to get in a car with someone who'd been drinking.
We were just lost.
Yeah.
We just lost. We couldn't see how we were going to not move on, because it's the wrong word, but,
Get on with your lives.
Get on with your lives without him. We just miss him for everything, don't we? Miss, even now, there's something and we'll think, oh, Nick, and he's not there.
We will never be the same again. We'll never be the same family again. How do you supposed to try and live the rest of your life without one of your children? Well, if our Nick, to be truthful, would be absolutely mortified at all this. He would. He'd be mortified. He's upset so many people. He'd be mortified. He's caused all this fuss. A year on, it's very hard to describe, because although it's a year and so much has gone on in that year, our lives have changed forever. Yet it still feels like it was just last week this happened. We miss him dreadfully, absolutely dreadfully. Every morning I get up and think, has this happened? And then I think, oh, yes it has. Really, I need to do something to help prevent this happening to other families. They have a choice. They don't have to do this. If they know, there's a question about someone being drinking before they go in a car, they have to understand what the consequences are of their actions.
I think we're just wanting to try and make people aware it's not just about an accident, it's not just about what happens to them, it's about the people who are left behind and the devastation that it causes.
This rips families apart, this devastates families. Campaigns like Wise Drive educate our youngsters. There's too many of our young children dying on these roads unnecessarily. These cars, these fast performance cars that they think are great, you know, they're not as safe as they think they are. There's a powerful machine. They've got to understand what the consequences can be and that they don't have to make the wrong choices.
I'm going in the army in a couple of weeks, then I'm going to go into be military police. So obviously Nick won't be there to see anything, but I knew he'd said, is it a couple of weeks before just applying, he said before he died how proud he was of me for it, but he was.
Very hard to look to the future, but I feel if I can do something to help prevent another family from suffering, even just one, that has to be something positive from this. I can't let Nick's death, you know, be in vain and for no reason. I can't just let him be another statistic. If everybody sings basically from the same hymn sheet, then, you know, we should be able to come and get something positive out of this.